Funky, fresh, and ready to impress. Funky, fresh, ready to impress.
Woo! Damn, it is funky, fresh, and I'm ready to impress. Welcome to another episode of The Great Mistake. My name is Graham Rogers, and with me as always is our handsome, bearded co-host and band leader, Mr. Gerard Bauer.
That's what time it is.
That's what time it is, baby. I actually don't know what time it is. I lost my watch, or I could have pawned it. I pawned a watch.
Who's our guest today, Graham?
Our guest is just ourselves and everyone tuning in.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when you can be a guest to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, I need company right now. No, how about you talk to yourself?
Right.
Let's see what's going on inside that little heart and soul of yours. Put that phone down.
Talk to you, Mike.
Talk to yourself, baby.
Do you guys know that Mike is our one great listener?
Mike
So
is...
This one's for you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I feel like it is important to just sometimes don't answer the door. You know,
Hell no.
You know, sometimes when you hear that doorbell ring,
Ding dong.
and you're like, oh, it could be $1 million check. Uh-oh. It could be prize money, a lottery. It could be the pizza guy. Sometimes you just can't answer the door. Check in with yourself. You know, I feel like we live in a world where everyone's always trying to not be alone. But we do that by going online, which is the most lonely place there can be.
So lonely.
So lonely. So any of you out there that are having a hard time making friends, you know, that was me for a little bit. I had a hard time making friends, especially when I was a little boy. You know, I remember one time I went to this pool party, right? It was Bill Rosenblatt's pool party. And it was very tribal, I remember. We were in this pool and we had a noodle war. And a noodle war is when you have pool floaties and you smack each other on the head. You smack. And we divided the team between the fats and the skinnies.
Segregation.
This is Mississippi, remember?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be a skinny so bad. I mean, they had all the cool kids, Leighton Davis, Peyton Ellis, John McVeigh. These are all boys who already had muscular definition. Good-looking boys, strong back muscles. And then there was me. And I wasn't fat, but I was right there in the middle.
You're soft, man. It's okay.
I was soft. I was like a day-old marshmallow.
Yeah.
And we took the shirts off, and I remember in that moment where I was teetering on the skinnies and the fats, I sucked my gut in really, really hard.
Yeah.
And Bill looks at me and goes, stop pretending.
Ooh.
Get over on our side. And that was the fats. And that just goes to show that you can't fake being skinny, or you can't fake being fat, and you can't fake being in the middle sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fake being white. I mean, you just have to go with the segregation.
Sometimes you just have to go with it, you know? And I think you can take that lesson of being whatever you are and being comfortable in that. But it takes a while. That growth takes a long time to be okay with being a medium, not fat or skinny, you know? And I know people, you know, body dysmorphia is one of those weird things that I can understand the thought process, and I can understand how it can happen. And I haven't had it happen to me, but I know a lot of people do struggle with body dysmorphia. For those that are, I'm thinking about you right now.
Thinking about you. Thinking about your beautiful body.
Beautiful body.
Just the way it is.
I love it how it is.
And I love you just the way you are.
And I love the way you talk and the way you smile and the way you send me postcards.
Do you hear that, Mike? This is for you, Mike.
We love you.
Oh, real quick, since we're talking about beautiful boy bodies, have you watched the Little League World Series?
I haven't, but I'm sure there's some beautiful boys there.
It's the best baseball I've seen in years.
Can I tell you something about what my only problem with the Little League Baseball World Series is I can't get on board with these parents. They're too supportive. Every parent thinks that their son or daughter is the belle of the ball, the belle of the baseball. I don't know, dude. The moment a family packs into a minivan, they put a sticker on their Honda Prelude that says "My son's an all-star player." I'm out.
Well,
Three strikes, you're out.
Let me tell you this, and you can tell me if you still would feel this way.
Okay.
There is a pitcher in the Little League World Series, plays for Hawaii. His ERA over, I think it was about 23 innings, is 0.
What does that mean?
It means nobody scored a run on him.
That's hot.
And in that same time, he's given up 3 hits.
That's hot.
Like that. I mean, I think that kid deserves a sticker on his Prelude, right?
I would give that kid a sticker.
And I'm not done.
There's more?
Yeah.
Okay.
He pitches left-handed or right-handed. He
Shut-
can pitch both fucking ways.
Shut the front basketball gov. Are
Bro,
you serious?
Yeah. This kid is out of hand, and he still hasn't hit puberty.
Shut up. He's so cool. I want to be him.
I know.
Would he be on the Skinnies? No, but
Oh, yeah.
But he also would be okay with being on either team.
Because he can pitch both ways.
God dang it.
Yeah,
What a good guy.
exactly. And that's the kid I'm out there fighting for every day. His name is Mike.
That kid I like. You know what, I guess to further the point, I'm not okay with parents being fully behind mediocrity.
Yes.
Unless you're fucking-tacular, you don't get a sticker.
There we go.
But if you're Mr. Hawaii,
Yeah.
who can pitch fucking, and he's bilingual also,
Definitely bilingual.
speaks Honoluluan, speaks English, may speak Mandarin, pitches with both hands and his feet. From what I heard, he has a mean curveball with that left toe.
Yeah. Dude,
He gets a sticker.
he gets a sticker.
He gets a sticker.
He gets an attaboy from me. He gets a participation trophy even because he's just that good.
I don't know if he would even want a participation trophy.
Probably
'Cause
not.
he's
That's what makes him so great.
so great. Dude, you know, the more I look into and dive into the world of great people, I realize that I don't have the pain to become. I mean, I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And you're amazing.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between me and Mike Tyson.
Right.
There's a difference between me and you and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
They it's just a different level of pain. And that's why, you know, I wish there was a service that maybe you could sit down at a spa and be shot up with pain, like deep childhood traumatic pain,
Right.
to push you to further prove yourself. My parents love me too much.
I know. I'm in the same boat.
God, it sucks.
It's such a rough ride when you think about it because it's like, oh, yeah, famous people, oh, man, they're kind of crazy, right? Like, are not famous, let's say successful people who are extremely successsul.
They operate on a different wavelength,
Right.
That I don't have.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Yeah. Okay. There was this boxer, this woman boxer, right? I mean, right off the bat, if you got a woman boxer, you have to prove yourself. Not only was she a woman boxer, she was a lesbian also. And she was a closeted lesbian, and that's when you're a lesbian and you haven't come out of the closet. But I mean, she came from this rural town in West Virginia. She was born in a coal mine. She was born in a coal mine. You know, she was born with that black lung. She was given 6 days to live, and she came out on top. Christy Martin. And then not only that, so she comes out, and this was like back when women's boxing was not even a thing. And she was like, I'm gonna prove myself, right?
Yeah.
She starts fucking knocking bitches out. You
Fucking
know?
Rocky montage.
Rocky montage. And literally, like, when she goes into the gym, the boxing gym, the trainer is like, you know, every trainer is always like, get out of here. And then she was like, no. And she's just,
Hey, the cheerleading tryouts are down the hall.
hey, the fucking juice bar is down the street. You know, and so she has to deal with, she can't even get a trainer until she stood there every day, hit the bags and jump rope. She was the first one in the gym and the last one out of the gym. So finally, she's boxing, you know, she's getting better. She gets a little taste, you know, of a first fight. She fought for $60. That's more than I have in my bank account. She fought for $60. She won the fight. She's starting to get a little steam, right? Turns out, dude, she marries her trainer, right? Because she's closeted. All right? She then gets an undercard for Mike Tyson. All right? She fucking knocks him out. Mike Tyson is like, man, get back in, you know? Not only that, her trainer, who she married, they ended up having, he tried to kill her also.
Wow.
He tried to kill her. He stabbed her and then shot her, and she fucking walked out of the house. Champion, baby. She had a cocaine problem also, and I like that.
Yeah.
She had a cocaine problem.
Very relatable.
Very relatable, you know, and yeah. That's like a different level of something, you know? That's a different level. To be shot and stabbed, like, and then she comes out and then she wins a fucking title. Like, that is the pain that I would like to have injected in me. You know, like, that's the pain that would drive me to, you know, to spend an extra few hours doing this, that, or the other. But I don't know, man. My parents love me too much.
Yeah, becoming a better video editor and animator.
Yeah. Or just becoming like, some people just are relentless when it comes to the pursuit of what they do, because they've experienced what it was to not have food, you know, or they've experienced, they're trying to fight some pain, like Bruce Jenner, you know, trans Bruce Jenner was, you know, he won those competitions because he was trying to escape his sexuality.
Yeah, he was running so fast, he was running away from his own spirit. Which was a female.
Yes, and females are not as fast as males, but that's okay. It is, you know.
It is what it is.
It is, and that's why she couldn't catch up to him until he was old. Yeah. That's why.
And yeah, exactly. Once he was slowed down a little bit, then the female spirit was able to catch up.
Yes, because females usually, you know, they age pretty well.
Yeah.
And they're usually, they're in good shape. She, you know, she was eating right. She had a healthy diet, and then Bruce became Caitlyn. But it was that it was that running, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a lot to run from. And sometimes I just wish I had more demons, you know.
I think you were on the right track with this pain injection.
Yeah.
But right now we don't have that science. We don't have that technology. But we could start some kind of camp for people who need to be abused.
Concentration camp.
Yeah, I mean that's one word for it.
Jews are very funny.
They are.
There we go.
There we go. I mean, silver linings, right?
Silver linings.
I mean, it's, what are you going to do? But yes, I think there is an opportunity for us to create a curricula or a curriculum if we want to do, I don't know which one's right.
Curriculin.
Curriculanzini, I think.
Curriculanzini, yep.
Is probably the right word.
Sounds just about right.
That incorporates that pain and abuse to drive people to be their best.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? Like, so you go to this camp, and for me, what I would want is I would want to start a relationship with someone and it become very serious, and then they die.
Yes.
You know, and
that'd be great.
And
it's a great way to look at it.
What else I would want is I think I need to be pushed to the max. To be Bruce or Caitlyn Jenner good, I need to be physically abused. I'm sorry, I just have to be. I have to be touched or sexually assaulted, and I have to have that same person who assaulted me die. Yeah. And then that's the pain. Like, I love this person, but they hurt me, and now they're dead.
So you can't ever confront them, so you're just left with this demon.
Oh, fuck. You're left with that demon.
And then you gotta run away. You gotta run from it. You gotta fight it.
Fight the pain.
You gotta make so much money that you can pay it off.
Yes. You know, but you always hear about the stories where people overcame pain, but I bet there's a lot more that people succumb to it.
That's true as well.
That's true at all. So that has to be a disclaimer when you come to the camp. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna be a fucking great success You could fall the other way. You could fall into drugs, despair, depression. You could fall into homelessness.
You could become an abuser yourself.
Yes. So we have to have some legal lawyers on this because it
for
could
sure.
potentially be very harmful for society. But, for kids that have had it all and that they need that extra zing, that extra pep, that I'm talking full-scale services here. Mm-hmm. And you say, hey, like, what do you want? And I think kids need that these days.
Yeah.
Oh, would be a good one? Mom or dad forgetting to pick up child from school.
Yeah.
And then he just has to be there all night. Mm-hmm. That's
Fend for himself. Bring in some coyotes.
Love some coyotes.
Maybe a mountain lion.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's not dangerous because those animals wouldn't necessarily attack, but it would be very scary.
Yes.
And you'd have to have that confidence to be like,
Yes.
Bobcat, coyote, go.
Yes.
You can't, I'm big. Look at me, I'm big. Woo.
I'm standing tall.
I'm standing tall.
And then you're resourceful.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? I want to work hard enough one day that I never have to rely on someone else picking me up with a car.
Right.
I'm going to make my own money and get my own car.
I'm going to kill these coyotes and turn them into a coat so I don't get cold.
And I'm going to cook their meat so I don't get hungry.
Exactly. All in one night.
All in one night. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm becoming this thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting powerful. I'm getting jacked.
Yeah. Who's the most dangerous animal? Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Well, yeah, Spider-Man is technically because that's two dangerous animals. Put together.
Venomous spider and venomous man.
Yeah.
Fur.
Give a lot of people jobs, especially actors, because think about you just staffed with all these actors who are going to abuse these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good for films. That's good to put on their reels.
Yeah.
Think about it's hard to get work in Hollywood, but we employ a lot of great people. And do you want to work on your method acting? Then come beat a child.
We can take prisoners too, because they can help teach us the proper cycle of abuse.
Yes, they
can. So
can.
it's like you're also helping people get their lives back together.
I think we should also have one deranged serial killer, because then that just throws that throws everything off. No one's safe, and that means someone close to you can die, or maybe you can die.
Yeah.
And if you die, that's the ultimate. Like, dang, I got murdered.
Yeah.
Like, dang,
That's life, baby.
That's life, baby.
I've learned something. The preciousness of life.
With a freaking madman in this camp.
Exactly. I mean, this all sounds incredible.
I think we need this, man.
I wish we were on Shark Tank right now.
I think we need to bring this idea. We don't need any more towels or sponges. We don't need any more we don't need any more technology. We just need to be scared or shitless, and so that we can then become the full versions of ourselves. I don't know. It's an idea. I like
agree, because from my perspective, being in my 60s now, it's like
late 60s.
Mm-hmm. It takes really a lifetime to get a lot of these lessons, and I understand a lot of them abstractly now, and I also understand them, from my own experience. But it took me so long to actually learn the lesson
because you had a pretty good life.
Yeah, because I had a pretty good life. Because I was like, oh well, things are gonna get better.
Yeah.
But guess what? They don't.
Yeah.
They don't get better.
But the good thing, for us, is they've never been demonstrably bad.
Right.
So it's a learning curve that is based on a gentle slope, whereas here at Camp Hognog or whatever you call it, it's steep and then up.
Yeah, it's a shock.
It's a shock.
Shock to your system.
Yes.
Get you remembering how fortunate you are to really just be on this planet. It's like, dude.
And also shock wires, barbed wires, electrical fences for sure, because they can't escape.
Kind of goes without saying. That's, under the security detail of keeping people in, because, people are going to show up and they're going to get a taste and they'll be like, hey, this isn't what I signed up for.
It doesn't
and
matter.
We say,
North Korea, baby.
Yes, it is.
North Korea,
it is what you
baby.
signed up for.
Yeah, I would like to go back and meet Jesus and to pick his brain and to ask him if this is what he all wanted. If this is what he envisioned. I'm sure if he was alive today, he would not believe.
No, he would not be Christian.
No. he'd be like, wait, all this for, he's like, I'm a dude.
Right.
I have perverted thoughts also.
And also, it's in really bad taste to just hang these statues of me being crucified.
Everywhere.
Like, that hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you guys just hang it up like it's some kind of, ornament.
Everyone's kissing me.
Yeah.
People are hanging on every word. I just said shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even write most of the Bible. I wrote like 2 verses. The rest were just ding dongs.
Yeah. I was freestyling, baby.
Yeah. Don't take what I said take it with a grain of salt.
I love Jesus, but I'm not Christian. But I love what he said because it was pretty radical at the time.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, just love each other like your brothers. Everybody's your brother. We're all here together.
Yes.
And we rise and we fall together.
Yes, exactly. And it's weird how that
Even you, Mike. Talking
even
to
you, Mike.
Yeah.
It's weird how people can get it so twisted. It's weird that it's like playing when you're a kid, when you do the whisper game in a circle and you say like, okay, you tell the first kid like, a pig likes to eat at the barbecue, and then it goes through all the different kids. By the end of the whisper game, it's a whole different thing.
Right.
That's what happened with Jesus, but it just went through generations upon generations of just dudes. And we know throughout history, dudes are not a reliable source of anything. We have too much testosterone. Take the
Right.
testosterone away from us, we'll be better. I promise you, ladies. Testosterone is not a smart chemical.
Yeah.
It's what's caused all chaos in the world is fucking testosterone. I don't know, man. I would like to sit down and have a podcast with Jesus.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
And
I'll bet
it's good that he died when he did, because you're right, man. He might have been undone by his taste for flesh.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
He was 33, bro. He was smashing on the regs.
I bet you he was. I mean, I bet you he was smashing.
I mean, if anybody came up to you and was talked like Jesus and was like, we just need to love one another and, treat each other like brothers. Do you want to come back to my place? You'd assume he's like, I'm an orgy guy. I'm having an orgy.
Yes.
Like, he sounds like an orgy guy.
He does. Like, all are welcome.
Yeah.
Eat from my flesh and I of yours.
Exactly. Take this in your mouth because it is my body.
Yes. Yeah.
How is the Eucharist not a metaphor for just,
Jesus dong.
Jesus dong?
Yeah. I bet you Jesus also had some children out there.
Yeah.
Because back then they just shot loads into ladies and they didn't care. They were just like, what?
There's nothing stopping
There was
that.
nothing stop. I bet Jesus had a few different babies out there. But think about back then. There's no information. There's no internet. There's no information. So
No 23andMe.
the Bible is just what they wanted people to see.
Right.
But there is buttloads of other things that we have no idea that happened. But because we have this one book from 2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
that's our template,
Dude, that's why I put all these podcasts in like a fallout-proof safe.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything happens to Earth and it's wiped out, they're going to find this podcast and they're just going to assume we were like gods because it's the only thing that will have existed.
That would be cool.
And they'll be like, of course, if they saved this was the most important thing in their lives.
Yeah, and then they would listen to this. They listen to these. These would be called sermons, of the divine, and they would have, and all the guests we have on would be the different gods, the different entities,
apostles, gods, whatever,
Amen. I remember I had this friend named Herschel who was Hindu, and he was when I moved out here, I was like, oh, this guy is going to hell because he is not Christian. And I was like, it's kind of fucked up. But I never really thought about it until I moved out to LA, because in Mississippi, that's just like, yeah, of course, like you're going to hell if you're not a.
Yeah.
But there are places in the world, even in our world, that people have not heard of Jesus. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just like bonkers that you're like, oh, this, just because of where you are, you're going to hell because you've never heard of Jesus. Like, that's crazy.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's bizarro. Like, if you were raised in the Amazon in one of those, little tribes, like, you're not who? Like, it'd be crazy. Imagine if someone from Africa tried to come to LA and were like trying to get us to adopt their voodoo or whatever, or whatever spiritual practices they had. That's like what missionaries do. They go into these rural places and they teach about their God. It must just be so weird to have why are you doing this?
Yeah, it
seems very invasive.
Yeah, it's extremely invasive to be like, hey, everything you think is wrong. And they're like, really? They're like, yeah. Oh, how do you know? How do I know? There's this book. And they're like, oh, like, where'd it come from? Came from like 2,000 years ago? Who wrote it? Some guys who were friends with this other guy? And you can prove this book? No.
It's called faith.
It's called faith, dipshit.
And they're like, oh, well, and it must be because I feel like the people that are less industrialized have a connection more to spiritualism than we do, because they live amongst their gods are the trees and the rain and to them that makes much more sense. And I think it does to most people.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like
because the sun.
The sun, yeah, the freaking sun
is the best god for me.
Sun's a great god.
I mean, of all things to worship, I would worship the sun.
The sun's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those videos where they do the comparisons of it's amazing. So they'll start with like Earth, and then they'll scale it up to let's say Mars, and then they'll scale it up to Saturn, and then they'll scale it up to our sun, which a million Earths could fit into our sun, right? Which is crazy. But then they have these humongous suns out there, these supernovas that a billion of our suns could fit into. Right. It's mind-boggling. Our sun is amazing, but it's just a little sun comparatively. But it's perfect for us. It's the perfect thing.
Our sun cares about us, and that's why he deserves my praise.
Yeah.
It's like I'm down with other suns, but what have they done for me lately?
Yeah, I agree. Same with like our Milky Way. What's your favorite galaxy? The Milky Way galaxy, dog.
Yeah.
It's the only galaxy I know, and it's habitable. I can breathe. I can,
Yeah.
My system works here.
There's a great candy bar, too.
I love Milky Ways. Dude, they're fucking great.
Yeah, I'm big on sun worship. The demigod is definitely the moon because he gives us the tides.
Yes.
And then you're looking at the ocean maybe being, I don't know if it's on par with the moon. They kind of work together to create life. So that's where I'm at, religiously.
I could see, of course, the elements like water and sun, and earth, like those are tactile elements that you can, that I would worship also.
But we all start in the ocean. Life started here in the ocean. That's why I give the oceans and water a little bit of a bump over everything up, and I keep it on par with the moon, slightly below the sun.
Yeah. Sun is the king or queen. Yeah. And then
definitely non-binary.
Non-binary.
Sun.
The sun doesn't
totally gender fluid.
It's totally gender. I mean, it's too hot to really fuck.
Right.
It's just like, just stay back.
Yeah. You're just the sun.
You're doing yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, no one can touch me, baby. I think it's great to be in a place of I just don't know.
Right.
And to keep, that's why when people are so certain that, I think people's idea of the afterlife is just so nearsighted.
Right.
That I think it could all be involved in our own consciousness, in our own brain. I think our brain's powerful enough to exhibit those kind of effects when you die. Like whether or not your soul goes to a heavenly place or whatever it is, I think that something happens when you die that probably is similar to, I don't know. We'll see.
And think about the memory, the nature of memory is if you can remember, and people who have photographic memories, right? Mm-hmm. Technically you're time traveling because you're like, I can go back to that point in time and be like, yes, I remember everything like I'm sitting there. And then you go, well, what does that mean for time? Like we have a perception of time, but it's our human perception of the passage of time. Mm-hmm. But we just showed with the power of memory that we can now move between time.
Yes.
So what the fuck's going on,
And
guys?
does that memory leave an imprint of some sort that we're not able to measure?
Right.
You know, does thought leave imprints that are...
Whoa, I like it. I
Yeah.
like that. Does a thought leave an imprint?
That's what I remember when I was on cocaine. I had that was my theory. I remember I was like, I believe that one day we will be able to measure the unmeasurable, and just like we're able to measure waves of light, you know, and we're able to measure lengths, you know, of a football field. I think we'll be able to measure and to put some kind of mass to the subconscious and to thoughts.
I think you're on the right track, and that's what's really exciting about really theoretical physics. You stepped beyond numbers and math, and we're trying to comprehend, you know, subatomic particles that travel between dimensions. Mm-hmm. And our best explanation so far is yes, that's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though we can't prove it, but we're still like,
Yeah.
it seems entirely possible that things can travel between, because they disappear and reappear and we don't understand why.
Yes.
And
All we
there's
know is
things-
happening.
Yeah, we see these things that we know are there, we can't measure them properly, but yet everything shows that they're there, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's
and
wonder.
And where do they go? It's bizarre.
Where do they go? Where does the podcast go after it ends?
I think it goes off into a nice dreamy realm. It also goes online, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. If you like what you heard, if you like what you've seen, check out at Graham Dolph, you know? Leave a comment. Listen, share with a friend, give it a rating, give it a 5-star rating if you liked it.
No, just definitely give it a 5-star
Just give it a
rating.
5-star regardless. We need it.
Because Mike feels really lonely as the only listener of this podcast, and he wants some friends.
Mike needs some friends. Mike, we're going to get you friends. I promise, buddy boy. I promise. Take him out.
That's it, right? We got, you said all the things?
I said all the things.
Said all the things.
Yeah.
And just come back next time.
Come back next time. You'll be glad you did.